This is me, Angela. Friends and clients call me the Dream Builder. I'm a writer and social media professor who loves coffee. Because without it, I could not survive my life with my 2 boys, 1 girl,
and their dad is a real rocket scientist.
My family and friends, we laugh with each other and sometimes at each other. This is Today with Angela.
We are talking about memoirs. And not just talking about them, but I want to encourage you to write one. So this is my memoir, Breaking into Hollywood. This was the first book I wrote. And then I ended up not really selling that many copies of it. So I met with a consultant who told me the cover needed to be changed. And so I changed it to this to kind of convey the messaging a little bit more. I might still prefer this one because it feels very business savvy, but nonetheless, I do think that overall this is a better cover, and I think that it better conveys my journey to breaking into Hollywood, which is a very fun, exciting time. I share about me literally traveling cross country from Chicago to Los Angeles in my car, driving. At the time I had a 1994 Geo Tracker soft top that I drove cross country literally for like 26 hours straight with no sleep. Then I stopped at a hotel and then continued the rest of the trip. But anyhow, that's my book. But the reason why I want to encourage you to document your story, not just journal it, I'm talking about writing your book, is because I used to work as a consultant with a company that I started, and I would help people self-publish their books. And in doing that, I would read some really, really compelling and interesting stories, people you wouldn't have ever thought. For example, there was a woman who worked at an aerospace company, and I would have not necessarily thought that her journey, was so compelling, but it was so interesting to read and to learn about. And there was some really great takeaways from her life journey. And so I think that's one reason why it's important for you to tell your story, is that you might be able to share some really compelling lessons to help someone else in their life and their journey. And then the second reason I think it's important to possibly to write your memoir is because it's a legacy. If you have children, it's certainly something that your children's children can read and learn about who you were to the family. And then if you don't have children, everybody comes from a family, so you have someone that can carry on your legacy. And then it's always passive sales. So if you upload it if you use a free service like Create Space, you can basically, once you have your book written, they kind of pretty much show you how to upload the book, and you may have to hire a graphic artist or someone for like $50 on Craigslist or some of those different sites, or maybe you have a friend who can do the graphic work for you, or you want someone who can format your book as well. That's something, again, maybe a Facebook group you can post, but you don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, I'm talking like under $100, like you can get your book done. Where the money is going to come in is really the time that it takes to write a compelling story. It took me about a year to write that book. But then the next book I wrote, Create Your Yes, which is more of a how-to self-help book. And this book has some memoir elements to it. This is my first book deal though. So I got this book a couple years ago. I did a TEDx talk, and then I shared it with my literary agent, which I encourage you, once you finish your book, you don't always have to self-publish. You can also get a literary agent. You can query them. There's some great books on Amazon on being able to, getting like resources on agents that you can email, and you can try to get representation. And then with that representation, you can try to get a book deal. But anyway, I had an agent. I sent them my TEDx talk. I ended up landing my very first book deal, Create Your Yes When You Keep Hearing No. It's available on Amazon, also at Barnes & Nobles. Sorry to start sounding like a commercial, but I talk really fast. And I hope that you are encouraged today to not just journal your story, not just write your story, but publish your book. And if you don't want to publish it, okay, write it out though. Type it out. Type out your story, your memoir, because I think someone will benefit from it.